Originally released in Japan on July 7, 2001, and then released in America on October 25, 2002, Pokemon Forever is the first movie to be distributed by Miramax of all people. That's something I didn't really get into in the previous videos, that the movies were distributed by, at least in the US, by Warner Brothers. However, Miramax took charge of the next several movies before the rights were given back to Warner Brothers sometime later, in a partnership with Viz Media. Also, this movie was shown in US theaters, but had a limited release around October of '02. It's kind of funny in hindsight considering how the movies are released now, around that time period of October, November, and whatnot. But anyway, we have a plot to talk about. So, our movie begins in the past, 40 years in the past to be exact, where we meet a young Pokemon trainer named Sam, walking through a dense forest. While in the forest, he meets up with a woman who tells him to beware of the forest guardian, Celebi. He tries to go inside anyway, and then comes across Celebi being attacked by a Pokemon hunter, which sort of is the opposite of what a guardian's supposed to do. Is he's supposed to be protecting the forest, not getting hunted down in the forest? Oh well. Anyway, Sam decides to help Celebi, but Celebi's kind of scared and confused considering it's being assaulted, and whisks them both away into the future. We then arrive in the present day, where we meet the same Pokemon hunter, albeit he's a lot older than before because, 40 years have passed. He's being attacked by Iron Mask Marauder, who I will be referring to from here on as simply Iron Mask. He's also a Team Rocket. Anyway, Iron Mask is asking about Celebi, and the hunter is pretty much saying he does nothing. So, in order to make his trip worth something, Iron Mask shows off his Dark Ball. The Dark Balls can catch any Pokemon like a Master Ball, but they can also max out its level and turn it evil. If you can't see me, well, you can't see me, you'll know. You can't see the air quotes I know when the term evil. Anyway, he captures a Tyranitar that was originally making and smashes up the place. Moving on. Finally catch up with Ash and friends as Ash partakes in his standard opening movie fight scene. However, this one isn't as impressive as the last movie, so let's move on from there. Anyway, after the battle, Ash is running late to meet up with Rocky and Misty on the boat that they're all using to get to the next island. When he manages to get there after some shenanigans, Pikachu catches sight of Suicune, and when they deport, they call Professor Oak on the view screen? What the heck is this thing? Oh yeah, they call Professor Oak, who confirms the sightings, and basically everybody wants to see Suicune. So yeah, Suicune will show up in this movie. They arrive in Arborville, the same place Sam was 40 years before, where they received the same warning, this time from an older woman. That was the same woman that told Sam the same warning. They go into the forest not caring, and hoping they can actually come across Celebi, which they immediately do after him and Sam come falling out of their time portal thing. Anyway, Celebi flies off confused and, still traumatized from being attacked, and Ash's friends take Sam back to the old woman's house. Sam awakens and introduces himself to Ash and the others, before vowing to save Celebi and find his way back home 40 years into the past. They explore the forest, where they find Iron Mask using his mecha to search around looking for Celebi, causing chaos and destruction wherever he goes. They manage to find Celebi rather quickly, who struggles against them because it's afraid of him. But they quickly befriend the Pokemon. You get the sense that he's going a little too fast here, because I'm feeling that he's going a little too fast. However, Iron Mask shows up just in time to ruin all the fun. They get into a quick fight, running away from him to avoid his evil Pokemon, with Misty twisting her knee. How do you twist your knee? Isn't it supposed to twist your ankle? Which forces them to fight, in which Sam reveals his steampunk Pokeball, which is generally the most awesome thing about this movie. They have themselves a quick little fight, and the group manages to break away from Iron Mask, after which group of Pokemon leads them to the Lake of Life, which heals up Celebi, he was still injured this whole time, and the group partakes in standard movie shenanigan fun times. As night rolls in, Ash and Sam have some bonding time over their respective dreams, and Sam shows Ash his sketchbook. Sketchbook in Pokemon anime. Who else uses that? I can't remember. Some character that was maybe important later. Oh well, just remember the sketchbook. It'll be important for later. Not in the actual plot, I mean the post-credit sequence. Nothing happens, so let's move on to the next part of the movie. The next morning, the group makes their way back to the village, trying to avoid Iron Mask, which they fail to do when Iron Mask snipes Celebi with the Dark Ball and captures it. Everyone tries to get the ball away from Iron Mask, but when they do manage to get the ball away, it's too late. Celebi's now under mind control from Iron Mask. Iron Mask starts trying to show off Celebi's power, which results in Celebi turning into this CG tree thing. It's never really given a name what this thing is, so it's just this CG monstrosity. Yeah, this movie used CG back in the early 2000s. Of course it doesn't look good. Why would you even ask that question if it looks good? Anyway, yeah, Jesse gets wrapped up in the giant CG tree thingy, Oh yeah, did I mention Team Rocket's been in this movie this whole time? I just never mentioned them because they haven't really done anything, even be funny like they were in the last movie. Anyway, yeah. As it turns out, Iron Man tells Jesse that he plans to ultimately usurp Giovanni and take over Team Rocket himself using this new power granted to him by Celebi. Everyone tries fighting against the tree thing in order to save Celebi. However, it's all for naught. As the fight goes on, Ash the Sand manages to find Suicune, who's just hanging around, and convinces it to help them save Celebi, which it has difficulty doing because it gets wrapped up in a tree thingy and gets hit by electric attacks, which still doesn't make any sense. Anyway, yeah, Ash the Sand managed to get into the tree thingy and get to Celebi. At first, they can't save it, as it's just following its destructive orders, before breaking free of its own free will, after being reminded of, well, all the fun times from the previous night. It regains its memories and destroys the Dark Ball. I guess they have a link together, whatever, and the tree thingy falls apart. Celebrations are cut short, however, as Celebi begins to wither away. It's slowly dying, and whatever they try to do to heal it doesn't work. The water is too dirty to prove effective, and while Suicune does manage to clean the water, purifying it, it still has no effect, and everybody starts crying because it looks like Celebi's going to die. I know I meant the scene is pretty sad, but I think it was done better in the first movie. However, suddenly, a bright light opens up in front of them, revealing a time portal with the number of Celebi flying down in order to heal the injured Celebi, healing it back up before they halfway depart, and the movie starts wrapping up. However, Iron Man decides to show up for one last round, attempting to catch Celebi for himself with the jetpack. Ash and Pikachu stop him, and Iron Man is taken away, and his evil Pokemon disappear into the woods. And anyway, Celebi takes Sam back to his time period, and everybody goes back to their happy lives. In the post-credit sequence, it's revealed that Professor Oak is in fact Sam, but he reveals he has Sam's sketchbook. Or he stole from him when he was a kid, that's also a possibility. But we're gonna go with the theory that he's actually Sam. This movie. It may in fact be one of the worst of the Pokemon movies. It really is a pain to sit through. My main problem with the movie is the villain is Celebi. So let's start off with the villain, of course. Iron Mask is a villain who's so generic it's hilarious. If he was supposed to be a joke, he should have been more funny. Because as a straight villain, he's just not entertaining. Outside of his rather cool design, I do really like the design of that mask, and the whole look he has is pretty awesome. He's such a generic bad guy who's out to be evil for evil's sake. The Dark Balls themselves are also just stupid. We established that they essentially just brainwashed Pokemon into being evil, but as Pokemon never seem more evil than any other goon Pokemon that we've seen throughout the series. And hell, Celebi managed to break free of its brainwashing, so it's not really the best plan to use those things. I mean, yeah, they can be convenient for a quick catch, but for an effective long-term strategy, it's pretty worthless overall. Now for Celebi. It's just plain annoying. In later movies, I get kind of annoyed that all the legendary Pokemon, as well as even regular Pokemon, seem to be able to talk and use telepathy. But you know what Pokemon that can really be helped by that ability? Freaking Celebi here. It's so saccharine and sweet, it's just annoying. In fact, the only reason you care anything about Celebi is the fact that the main characters care about Celebi. Outside of that, it's just a random cutesy Pokemon they managed to get attached to. On top of that, it's always on screen, meaning we never get a break from how sugary his personality is. The only time we ever do get a break, we're supposed to hate it because it's this sweet innocent creature's being brainwashed by an evil asshole. But I'm like, whatever keeps it from squealing is perfect for me. Also, this is just a personal side note. Brock and Misty do absolutely nothing in this movie outside of Misty's whole twisted ankle thing. I mean, twisted knee thing. Again, it's supposed to be an ankle, isn't it? So yeah, they're kind of wasted here. There aren't that many differences between the original version, the original Japanese version, and this version. Aside from a few differences in animation, cells here and there, not really anything major to get into. Overall, it's not a bad movie, but it's pretty dull, extremely flawed. Let's hope the next movie, Pokemon Heroes, is at least more energetic.